welcome to the Logistics Point interviews. Today I'm joined by Daniel Levan-Harris, who is the CEO and founder of Mango Logistics Group. Daniel, thank you very much for joining me. What is the state of the current warehousing market and how can you evaluate?
Good morning, Nick. Thanks for having me on your podcast. There's a shortage of space, definitely. There has been for a number of years, even more so since the pandemic has hit, in the rise of e-commerce. And in addition, people having more stock here. We've realised supply chains aren't delivering stock into the UK, so people want to sit on more stock now. So a huge lack of warehousing. In addition to that, there's been a huge growth in micro warehousing, which is smaller assets closer to the end delivery point. So bringing goods closer in and housing them in small micro warehouses.
You will be part of our micro fulfillment and warehousing event on the 8th of March online. And I wanted to ask you, what is your take on micro fulfillment and the role it plays in modern logistics?
It's just keeping fast moving goods, wherever they may be, closer to the client. It does two things. I mean, one is obviously the speed of delivery, and if that requirement is there. But I would say it's more from an environmental impact in congested cities, particularly. So you can do 5-6 miles on a small bicycle or a cargo bicycle, I should say, for the end delivery. If you're keeping all your assets in town. So last mile on a van, if it's 20 miles, is a lot worse for the environment than bringing goods in early hours of the morning, deploying them at a micro warehouse, and then last mile delivery being done by pedal power.
Another big problem is also finding people. Have you personally experienced problem finding enough employees?
We've been fine, actually, but I think it comes down to paying people a good living. I think people in this industry struggle because historically we don't pay good wages. To say it, it's easier to hire people, or easier than it was 5 years ago, I'll be lying. People are not knocking on your door and desperate to take a job anymore. But we still get inquiries for new roles constantly come through, and it's about taking on good people and paying them a good living.
And also, how do you evaluate the current UK economy after Brexit?
I think what's happened is a lot of UK brands that were delivering from here to Europe have now moved their operations, the mainland, and they're holding stock there, and vice versa. European companies that were doing their deliveries from there to the UK are moving their goods and stock to the UK. So we've been very fortunate. We've picked up quite a few European clients that want to hold stock here in London. That's been the effect of Brexit. I don't think we've done particularly well out of it. I think we're about neutral. So far, I can't see the benefits, if I'm honest. I could just see costs going up, lack of goods, and the price of goods going up. So I would like to know the benefits, but I can't currently see any benefits to Brexit.
Supply chains are turning green. But where will the energy come from? Join us on the 10th of May to talk about power and energy in logistics, visibility and sustainability, and the role of people. Discover why sustainability is more than just a word, and what logistic and supply chain organizations are doing to fulfill net zero pledges, customers' demands, and shortages of key materials. The event is free and you can register now. Delivering Green, Creating Sustainable Supply Chains on the 10th of May by the Logistics Point. Register now.
Are you overall optimistic about the future of the supply chain and the logistics industry?
Very optimistic. There's a lot of automation, robotics coming in, micromobility in terms of the vehicles availability are just constantly innovating. So very, very exciting time. But, the industry needed to shake up with innovation and tech. And I think that's here and it's coming. It'd be interesting to see robotics in terms of warehousing for pick and pack. We know it works very, very well in large warehouses. In micro warehousing, we need to see the cost of robotics will outweigh the cost of humans in smaller warehouses. But only time will tell that.
I mentioned in the beginning you are the founder and the CEO of Mango Logistics Group. Where is Mango Logistics heading and what does the future hold for you?
Doing what we do, but likewise constantly innovating, seeing what's new and fresh out there. So we've got a series of micro warehouses coming up within city centres, so to get closer to the client with green delivery. So our fleet is pretty much all green now. We've got one or two legacy vehicles. Once they go back, we will be completely green. So definitely a lot more cargo bikes, which I think are very efficient in city centres. Likewise, we are just about to sign a lease on a very, very large warehouse outside of town to give us the ability for more pick and pack and holding goods with a shuttle between the larger warehouses and the micro warehouses.
Is it challenging moving from more legacy vehicles to greener ones?
Availability on some of the electric vehicles is harder, and sometimes when drivers need to take the vehicle home at night, it's finding the infrastructure out of our depots where they can actually charge at night. So we've got charging at all our depots, but it's when they drive home at night, they don't always have the opportunity to charge. So I find that this charging infrastructure more of a challenge than the actual vehicles. The vehicles are great. I think driver habits need to change in driving. I drive an electric car myself. You learn to drive slightly differently, less on the brakes, and you utilize the regeneration of the charging within an electric vehicle. So it's slightly different, adopting different driving styles. But besides that, the vehicles themselves got the same capacity, and we're getting enough range out of them for what we need in last mile in London.
Daniel, thank you very much for your time, and for everyone watching, you can learn more in the description down below. Thank you very much.